Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. Indiana, left center field. Ross on the move. Ross get there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a misstep. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Robbie Draghi this time. Indeed. New hand there. Down the middle. Got it. On the fly. It's high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top. This is college football at its absolute best.
College athletics at its absolute best, man. Welcome into another episode of the Fanatics Show. I'm Michael, my co-host Skylar. Skylar, man, how you doing on this this Tuesday evening?
Man, I'm down bad. I am down bad. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure. But we're alive. The Lord has blessed us with another day. The Big Ten's won another natty. So thus they are, superior. The best conference in America. But we're going to talk all about it right here on the Fanatics Show. You already know it. It is a little past 8 p.m. And for the first time, not my fault. Gotta let that be known.
That's right.
But
Little man didn't want to go down tonight. So.
No, it's not your fault either. That's right. So no, I just had. Usually it's my fault. So I had to clear my name. All right, that's all I'm saying. But no, it's a great night, blessed night. It's officially the off season, whatever that means. Negotiation season is what it means. But anyways, it's good to be here, Michael. How are you?
Man, cannot complain at all. Another day where we're 6 feet above ground. So, that's all we can ask for. But, you already said it. We get to talk all about some ball, get to talk about some off-season stuff going on as the transfer portal is officially closed. Now, we will talk all about it in our segment 1, but basically what that means is nobody else can enter the portal. We can still get guys from the portal.
That's right. I mean, the portal still technically, you can still pick from it, but yes, no more names shall be entered into the portal.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get right into all this. But Skylar, before we do that, would you like to give us our presenting show sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company. So he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is always fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance today. Give him a call at 865-272-3387. And they are right here local out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Again, guys, Chris and that team is not just going to find you the best rate or the best premiums. In fact, maybe not the case, but they'll find you the best coverage for the best rate. That way, if that does happen, if that accident does arise and you do have to file that claim, you at least have the peace of mind knowing that you're going to be fully covered and insured. We appreciate you, Chris, for your continued support. Mike, man, you give us the rundown. You kind of mentioned what we're going to be talking about here right off the bat, but what do we got lined up in this first show of, like I said, football season's officially over. So I guess we're looking forward to, I hate to say this, but baseball season, because boy, oh boy, do I not want to talk about basketball right now. You're muted. Whoop, we're live. Hold up.
Yes. I am muted
right.
back on now. But yeah, we will talk a little bit about basketball. Don't want to spend too much about it, but we're going to start off tonight.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to start off tonight with some more off-season stuff, some more portal pickups that we got on Saturday, as well as we got a new strength and conditioning coach.
Hey,
this was a big hire, by the way.
I can't believe this story, by the way. I mean, we're talking about a guy who didn't even get to enjoy a natty for 24 hours before he suited up and telling the guys to be at the weight room the next day. I mean, I love it, dude. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, going to talk about that in segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk about the men's team, kind of get that one over with. That one should not take very long.
What team?
Segment 3, we are going to talk about the Lady Vols with a big victory on on Sunday against Alabama. But before we do all that, let's get our segment one sponsor. Let's start talking all about this football off season. Our segment one sponsor is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. Contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, Skylar, where do you want to start? We got several different places that we can start here. We can start with somebody returning to Tennessee. We can start with the new strength and conditioning coach, or we can just start talking about some of these new players that joined on Saturday.
I'm going to pivot and talk about one thing that you ain't even touched on, and that's we got a date for Joey Aguilar's court hearing.
Okay.
February 10th.
February the 10th. So that is, what's that, about 21 days away, 20 days, something like that? I can't do math.
Well, yeah, that might be accurate, actually. Maybe 21, maybe 3 weeks. It's a Wednesday, I think, ain't it? Yeah, sounds about right.
Probably.
Actually, let me look. I'm you done got me puzzled. Let's see. February 10th is exactly 3 weeks.
So we might have a ruling be able to come on that night and talk about it on February the 10th.
That's a fact. Look at that. We're already game planning ahead for what I have been holding on to since the very beginning of all this, and that's the fact that I've been highly, highly hopeful that he gets another year. Now, I could be swinging and missing here, but I promise you, I am the only one in this entire fan base that has believed from the start he's going to be getting another year. So
let's talk about it for a minute, because we discussed it a little bit the other night.
From a fundamental standpoint.
I personally, even though I would love that, I mean, year two under Joey Aguilar would be fantastic. I mean, we're talking possibly Hendon Hooker-esque. I mean, we saw what Hendon Hooker did in year one.
Talking like Heisman front runner here.
Yeah, exactly. So I would love to see what year two under Joey Aguilar looks like, especially with what's likely to be a pretty darn good defense, considering the moves we made in the offseason and the coaching staff changes. It should be a pretty good defense. But here's the thing. I sat there last spring and watched almost the same scenario play out with Alberto Osuna in the baseball, and NCAA just does not like Tennessee. So I've got very low hopes that they're going to rule in Joey Aguilar's favor for all this going forward.
What if I dropped a teaser?
Okay.
Do you follow Joey Aguilar's account much, like social media, Instagram precisely?
I do not. I do not have Instagram.
So Joey Aguilar posted earlier, either today or yesterday, just a group of photos. And he had a very simple caption that he has since deleted. So this is why I raise an eyebrow. The caption on it had, if you're familiar with Spotify, you know how like when you repeat a song, it's got the little oval with the number 1. That was his caption. It was that emoji. As if he's saying, let's run it back. Now, he has since deleted that caption, so now it's just, if you get on his Instagram, it is just, obviously, just a couple photos of him playing ball. But that caption has me a little hopeful again. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I've never really lost it. I've been believing and trusting from the very beginning. I do think he will get another year. I have no reason, or I know it's just the it feeling for me. Like, it's not like I have insider information on that. Nobody knows, to be honest with you. It's in the hands of a judge. But I don't know. I'm hopeful about it. I feel good about it, and I think maybe Joey feels a little good about it. I don't know.
I mean, I'd love to feel good about it, and I'd love to have him back, but I don't know. It's gonna be a fun story to follow. I'm not as optimistic as you on this one, and you know me. I'm very optimistic a lot of times coming on this show. I like to try to find the positives in everything, and I'm not feeling good about this situation. So I'm glad that you are, and I hope that it all works out that way, because let's kind of roll this over into the quarterback side of things.
Yep.
As we've got a quarterback now.
I was going to say, regardless of how it goes, you can't be mad because Josh Heupel did exactly what you wanted him to do, right?
That's right. So we've got a quarterback, transfer Ryan Staub from Colorado. Obviously not the best numbers. Obviously not a lot of numbers either.
No.
As I mean, when you look at his stats, I believe he completed a total of like 30 something passes this season. I believe it was 3-4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, something
That's
along
right.
those numbers. He did have a rushing touchdown. Not great, but we've seen what Josh Heupel can do with quarterbacks. But here's the other thing. He kind of did what I expected him to do last year and go out and get a depth piece. And obviously, we saw where that turned out with Joey Aguilar, but that's exactly what he did this year. He got a depth piece. It's a guy that can compete for the starting job because it's going to be a three-way battle all through spring, all through summer, and all through fall camp. I know you're holding up the 4 over there.
It's not even. I was going to say a three-way battle for backup, but yeah, I'll go ahead and let you finish your point.
Yeah, but I mean, it's if Joey does not get the extra year of eligibility, it's going to either be George Faison or it's going to be Ryan.
Yeah,
that is starting next season.
I like this. I like this pickup to, and I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I like the pickup because it's a guy that, like you said, adds depth to the room. But it's a guy that honestly I feel confident enough that's going to push guys like George and Fajon Brennan to be better, and realistically, a guy that I think they could beat out if they are truly the quarterbacks we want them to be, right?
Yeah.
And secondly, it's a guy that you brought in that if Joey does get that extra year, you're not really feeling like you're missing out on too much if he's got to ride the bench or even if he decides to enter the portal again or whatever. Like it's not like a superstar caliber quarterback where if Joey gets granted that other year, you're now looking at yourself saying, crap, we have a legit quarterback controversy because now we have 2 all-star quarterbacks. What do we do? You're not running into that issue here, I think, with Josh Heupel. Again, I think he's a great piece to add to the room, but a guy that, honestly, I'm kind of hoping probably ends up being, and I could be missing the mark 100% here, but almost ends up being just super reliable, kind of like gas pipe. You got a number 2 there, a guy that's going to make the room better, deeper, whatever. But the guys that you still want to be quarterback, as far as the guys that you recruited, are still going to have that opportunity to do that with this pickup.
So, in my opinion as well, Josh Heupel did exactly what he needed to in this situation because obviously you had to add a quarterback. You didn't know what was going to happen with Joey. That would have left you with 2 scholarship quarterbacks there. You had to add some sort of depth. But not going out and getting a star player tells me one of 2 things. One,
we don't have pockets.
No, I'm not going to say that because I think that we could absolutely I think that we could absolutely pay for somebody if we wanted to. But Tennessee said, whoever came in, I'll just use Sam Levitt, for instance.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
He came in.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee offered him.
Lane Kiffin came on the premises.
Lane Kiffin came in. He went to Miami. LSU offered bigger. And Tennessee basically said, okay, see you. Kind of did the same thing with Pribula from Missouri. He came in. I don't know how much they offered him. I know it wasn't as much as Levitt, but basically it seems like Pribula wanted more, and Tennessee said, all right, see you.
Yeah.
So that tells me
I definitely feel like with Pribula, it was more of a Tennessee decision to say no.
Yes.
Than with Sam Levitt. I felt like Sam Levitt was more of a more than Tennessee saying no. It was more of a Sam Levitt saying no. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, they got the quarterback, and they weren't done there, though, Michael, were they?
Yeah. But kind of to finish my thought here, that tells me one of 2 things. Either one, Josh Heupel thinks that he's got Joey Aguilar coming back, which is why he didn't get a starting quarterback necessarily.
Ooh, I like that one.
Or 2, he's confident enough in George or Faison that they can go out there and they can be the guy next year that he didn't have to go out and get a stud quarterback.
Here's my thing.
That's kind of what it tells me.
With that point, I think what that does is buy him time. If you're having to go out there and start a GMAC or a Fajon Brandon, and you're having to play with the first-year defensive coordinator and Jim Knowles, to me, that completely lowers all expectations on the season to where, if you do go another 8-4, dare I say 7-5, it's not near as big of a hit, right? Then if you get Joey Aguilar back and whatnot, and you're expecting a 10-win season and to go to the playoff and all that, like, I think if Josh Heupel goes that route, I think obviously you want to get your young guys, the guys that you recruit, the chance to play ball. But I also think that may be a tactic to buy Josh Heupel a little bit more time to develop around the offensive line and defense with that first year, defensive coordinator. But either way, yeah. But like I said, good points there, but they weren't done there, right? Like, we actually got one of our biggest transfer portal recruits ended up being a guy that probably should have never even hit the portal.
You want to say who that is?
I was going to let you do it, but I'll do it. I mean, it's Arion Carter. I mean, it's a weird story, right? He puts his name in the draft. 100% was one of those situations where he was not getting drafted as high as he wanted to be.
See, I'm gonna.
You gonna disagree with that?
I'm gonna agree with you, but disagree, because he wasn't gonna get drafted as high as he wanted to, but it's not because he didn't deserve to. It had to do with his injury. He wasn't gonna get to go out there and compete in the combine stuff, put up the numbers that he wanted to. So it was solely gonna be on his tape during film that they were going to be looking at everything for, because he had to have surgery, I believe, again on the turf toe that he had back earlier in the season.
Yeah,
so
it hindered him all year.
That had a lot to do with him deciding to come back to college, but then obviously came back, decided he was going to enter the portal, because Tennessee at that point, they'd already moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got Amari Campbell coming in. You picked up some other edge rushers as well, but Amari Campbell, that was the big one that you got at linebacker to replace Arion Carter. And then all of a sudden, after discussions with Arion, he says, I'm coming back, guys.
I think what's cool about this whole situation is Amari Campbell's reaction to that.
Yeah. He said, let's go.
That's not what he said.
No, that's not what he said.
A little bit more fired up and vulgar than that.
That's a PG version of what he said.
LFG is what he said, and that got me fired up, man, ready to run through a brick wall. Because I mean, it's one of those things where I think you've seen it, especially last year. I think a lot of these players are starting to realize that, man, just because you may not be the number one guy in that position doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to play a lot. So I think this is a huge move. I do think Arion Carter is going to be a number one right there alongside Amari Campbell. But I think if you're Jeremiah Thielander, if you're Jaden Perlotti, you're still going to get a lot of playing time behind these guys, because it's just one of those positions that are so rotational and injury prone. I mean, those guys are hitting the hardest and the most out of anybody anywhere on the field all season long. So I mean, loving the fact that we got some depth there. I think that's going to help Jim Knowles a lot. And I think Amari Campbell is actually going to be able to teach Arion Carter a lot, and vice versa. But just with this being Jim Knowles' defense and Amari Campbell having already a year under his belt in that defense, I think it's going to pay some dividends. And I'm excited about it. I mean, Arion Carter is one of my favorite players. Straight, from his recruitment, he's one of those guys that you can truly say is a VFL, which, and today's age, it's kind of rare to say that.
It's very rare.
So, but the fact that he was recruited here, and now it's official, he's going to be staying here until he goes to the draft next year. It's just a guy that I'm rooting for, and how could you not, as a Tennessee fan?
Yeah, 100%, man. So some other guys that Tennessee picked up as well. We got another corner out of the portal as well. 3-star Tavis Metcalf, another Michigan guy. So we got a Michigan safety.
PJ Metcalf's brother.
Yep, that's right. So both of them coming in. You got Isaiah Harge, corner from Colorado, but not just a corner. This is a guy that a little bit of a two-way. Play some corner, play some wide receiver as well. I'm not certain if we'll see him play both ways, just because the wide receiver position is pretty stacked for Tennessee, and the need is definitely at corner for Tennessee as well. Possibly see him as that punt returner, kick returner, especially since Gavin Freeman decided to flip to Baylor.
Man, what happened? Like the day after our podcast, and we were sitting there talking him up, and He doesn't transfer to transfer. He literally just flipped his commitment as a transfer. You never really see that often, but
Yeah.
it would happen to Tennessee. That's fine. It's probably because nobody was excited about his commitment. I blame the Tennessee fan base. 100%.
Well, everyone was like, why do we need a wide receiver? Not realizing that he was going to be that gadget guy, going to be that punt returner, that kick returner, that fiery guy that we needed.
I got to be honest, though. When he first committed, I was kind of one of those like, okay,
I said the same thing.
It's a good pickup. Like, I'm not going to say that we don't need him, but like a wide receiver room was not a position of concern for me.
I was saying the same thing until I actually looked at some of his tape, and I was like, "Ooh,
he was Oklahoma.
I like this guy."
State's, I was gonna say he was State's best guy on the field for sure. So, but no, I mean, any other news, especially in the recruiting side of things?
So we already mentioned Ryan Staub, the quarterback from Colorado, but a big, and I mean literal big, transfer portal commit that Tennessee got. Transfer interior offensive lineman from West Virginia, 6'3", 346-pound Donovan Haslam decided to transfer to Tennessee.
That's what we need.
And that's a fantastic pickup. We were just talking last week, let's maybe get one more offensive lineman. I feel pretty solid about the offensive line, but let's get one more guy. And, buddy, did we get another guy? Yep. And really excited to see what Donovan Haslam can do. As well. Also got transferred tight end from South Alabama, Trent Thomas, 6'5", 254, to replace Jack Van Dorslayer, who entered the portal last week. Got DJ Burks at safety from Appalachian State. And then guy that will go under the radar, you've got Blake Howard, transferred long snapper from Eastern Kentucky. And that's going to round out the guys that entered the portal and came to Tennessee. Pretty much all of this happened on Saturday. There might have been some late Friday evening, some early Sunday morning, but the majority of these all happened on Saturday. Oh, sorry, I actually missed one. We got a transfer running back as well, and I believe it's Javin Gordon from Tulane.
Yes, Tulane pickup. Yep, the Tulane. Maybe Brazel had a little bit of an influence there. I don't know. But a guy that 100%, I mean, the running back room, I mean, you feel good about Deshaun Bishop, right? But like,
yeah,
DeJuan Morris, who's behind him? I mean, we gotta get some guys. I think maybe this Tulane guy actually has several years of eligibility, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 years of eligibility. So, and I don't know, any added depth in that room's huge. Technically, Deshaun Bishop, I think, still has another 2 years of eligibility. So, I mean, not necessarily worried about a guy leaving, but you hope that Deshaun Bishop is that guy that leads the room and ends up getting some love in the draft, and he ends up getting that type of love, but like, or has that type of season. But you got a guy from Tulane, add a little bit to that room, a room that needs a little bit of improvement. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a disappointing year in the sense of it was statistically the worst rushing attack Heupel's had at Tennessee, I believe. So
yeah, it was. But yeah,
you still got over 2,000 yards, I believe, rushing. But like overall, Deshaun Bishop had over 1,000 yards, and then the next closest I think was Star Thomas with like maybe 400 or 500.
Yeah.
It fell off pretty hard. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Javin Gordon. He actually comes in with 3 years of eligibility, as he was just a true freshman this year. So yeah, multiple year eligibility guy, and that Rhonda, this actually leads us to the next topic here. Is Tennessee finally has a new strength and conditioning coach. So let me ask you, how long do you think this has kind of been in the works, and it hasn't been? It hasn't come out and said it until after the national title game. I've got a feeling this has been in the works for a little bit.
I mean, it's had to have been. But I respect the crap out of 1, Tennessee, and 2, Indiana, and for not making this a big story before the game. Like letting the kids still have their game, letting them do their thing. And then, obviously after the game, the news is the news, but overall not overshadowing anything and staying in the moment. I think Coach Heupel and, the coaching staff here had a lot to do with that. And I credit the agents behind the scenes for not leaking any information, like the reporters just staying off the back of that and letting the kids, especially on the Indiana side, just have that week in preparation and not have any distractions. I think that was huge, and a huge win for both coaching staffs there. I know obviously we're getting an upgrade, I would say, but overall, just well respect to both coaching and programs for doing that.
Yeah, as Derek Owings is going to be Tennessee's new strength and conditioning coach. He was the strength and conditioning coach at Indiana, who obviously just won the national title game last night. We'll talk a little bit about
Ooh.
that here in a few minutes.
We're putting together
But,
some championship coaches, man. I mean, you talk about a strength and
yes.
conditioning coach that just won a natty. You're talking about Jim Knowles, who won a natty with Ohio State just a year ago. I mean, or 2 years ago, technically. No, a year ago.
Yep.
So, I mean, 2 games ago, I guess is what I'm getting at. But a year ago, yeah, I mean, you're putting together quite the coaching staff that that shows me this program has Heupel's back and allowing him to make the moves that he needs to make and the moves
Yeah.
that we've been asking for him to make. There's only one more move that I think I'm kind of hard pressed on.
I think both of us are on this train as the offensive line coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give another year just for the simple fact that we did bring in some high talent recruits. So it shows me that they're at least recruiting well. But if I don't see some development, yeah, I've got some concerns at that coaching position.
100%. But Owings does have some history with Josh Heupel. He was the director of, or he was the assistant director of sports performance for Josh Heupel at UCF in 2018, and Kurt Cignetti ended up getting him whenever Cignetti went to James Madison. He's been with Cignetti for 6 seasons, and since he became a strength and conditioning coach, Derek Owings has a 65-9 overall record, a 40-5 conference record. He has been to 2 college football playoffs, both of those being with Indiana in the last 2 years, 4 conference championships, 3 of those obviously won at James Madison, one of those with Indiana this season, 12 postseason appearances. So obviously that's the total number of postseason games that he has been a part of. He has coached a Heisman Trophy winner, that being Fernando Mendoza this year, 30 plus All-Americans, and 9 Conference Player of the Years. That's a pretty good resume right there to be getting. Tennessee's making sure that he's being paid well, as he is going to be the highest paid strength and conditioning coach in the country. See here in the story that USC actually came last year calling for him, and Indiana bumped his salary from $535,000 up to $900,000. But Tennessee's deal with Owings, it's a 3-year deal that runs through January of 2029. His salary will be $1.2 million.
Wow.
With his official start date. Let's see. His official start date was today.
Yeah.
And January the 13th. Yes. So who was it that said it earlier? Said that he actually signed last week. So that's whenever this deal was inked.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at. I mean, they've already got his profile up on utsports.com, but I mean, we're talking about a coaching guy. I mean, yeah, he's got already quite the resume. I mean, we're talking. He was a player at Eastern Michigan as a wide receiver from 2012, 2013. Then went to Mercer as a tight end, pretty much that next year or two, and then. Basically, from there, went straight into graduate assistant coaching. He went to Utah State for 3 years, from 2016 to 2018. 2018, he also did his first year as a conditioning coach at UCF, which is where you mentioned. I believe he was with Heupel back then at UCF. He then left, went to Texas Tech for a couple of years. Again, director of strength and conditioning. Then spent a really good stint at James Madison as the conditioning coach from 2020 to 2023. And then that is where he then took over as director of athletic performance from Indiana. And then obviously in 2026, he took the Tennessee job. So in 2018 is where he made his first appearance at a national or conference championship in the AAC at UCF with Josh Heupel.
Mm-hmm.
2020, he was in the CAA South Division with James Madison. Did the same thing in 21. And then, of course, in 2025, the Big Ten championship with Indiana. And then the national championship last night at Indiana. So, yeah, man, this guy's the real deal. I think he's well worth the money. And I think you're going to see a difference. And hopefully, not just the strength and the health of this program, but also the durability of these and the tackling and like the little stuff, right? Like I don't know. I felt like a lot of that was missing in this team the last year or two. Even with a great defense last year, we still had some bad games of tackling. Now, they were a lot better at gang tackling, so it wasn't as noticeable. But, I mean, I can still point to a handful of games last year where the tackling was just absurd. And I'm hoping with the new strength and conditioning program that gets fixed, along with Jim Knowles, coaching, of course. But I don't know. The health and wellness of this team is super important, and I'm looking forward to this change in scenery.
Yeah, 100%, man. So let's talk a little bit about the national title game last night. What were your overall thoughts of that game? Because it didn't necessarily go the way that we thought that it would.
I mean, 30 minutes of it went about exactly how I thought it was going to go. And also the last drive went exactly how I knew it was going to go. I wish I could have placed a bet on that. Oh my goodness, I caught it from a mile away that Carson Beck was going to throw an interception in the game.
That's just what Carson Beck does, so.
Right? No, the first half though. I mean, you're talking to a guy who took an alternate under in the game of, I think the over-under was set at like 46 or 47.
We had it last week at 47.5.
I took an alternate under of 40.5. Like, I was so confident.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Don't give me that. First half, you were scared.
I was very scared.
I was so confident in this game. I took the alternate under at 40.5, and then I took Indiana alternate spread of 16.5. And I tell you right now, if I could go back and cash out at halftime, I would have. Because, my gosh, was it looking just perfect. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it better for me. I mean, they were up by 10. They were shutting out Miami. Miami couldn't generate anything. I mean, the fact that Miami came out in the second half and did what they did is just so impressive because, man, what a turnaround. But the game itself, I mean, ultimately went how I expect. I mean, I knew Indiana was going to win. I got to credit Miami did not think they'd put up a fight. I'll be honest with you. I thought Indiana was just going to run away with it. So got to give them kudos, and credit where credit's due. And that running back from Miami really, really played his heart out. But overall, man, it's just Indiana kind of reminiscent of a 2019 LSU. Really, really reminding everybody who's the best team in the league this year. And I do firmly believe that the best team won this year.
I completely agree. Completely agree with you. I mean, I saw on Twitter, there was several different folks that said, watching these two teams play, it's clear that Ohio State was the best team in the country. It was clear that Georgia was the best team in the country. It was clear that Texas was the best team in the country. I mean, it was so many different people saying that, if we would have played either one of these teams, we would have won this game. Okay, why weren't you there? Because, Indiana, they played very well all season long. Did they have some close calls? Yeah, you got the Iowa game that they probably should have lost, and they found a way to win. The Penn State game where it took a miracle,
that was crazy.
Toe touch grab in the back of the end zone to win that game. But what do great teams do?
Find a way.
They find a way to win. That's exactly what Indiana did, and got a little bit nervous for them towards the end there as they had it 2nd down and 1 after Miami just used their first timeout. It's like 1:52 left to go in the half. All they got to do is pick up a first down. They're going to win the game. They don't even have to score again. And their offensive tackle gets a false start penalty. And this is a dude that rarely got penalized all season long. Like, he might have had 2 penalties on him the entire season and gets a false start penalty. End up going 3 and out the rest of the way, as they had already moved moved down the field some to get into this position, but ended up getting the 4th down, kicked the field goal, went up 27-21, and Miami had a chance. But I kind of had the same feeling that you did with Miami, that, I knew they were going to start moving the ball down the field because that's just what they had been doing the entire second half. But then what a read by the Indiana corner, by the way, as it was cover 2 on that last play. Carson Beck thought that he had single coverage on the outside, thought that the safety was going to stay towards the middle of the field. And from the snap, the safety is already drifting back in the direction of where the receiver ran. And the corner knew that he had over the top help. So he kind of played underneath there and just undercut the route. The ball was underthrown as it was
I
from
was going to say
Carson Beck.
that was the biggest problem, is the underthrown
Yes,
ball.
that was the biggest problem. But the underthrown ball that the Indiana corner was able to undercut there, get the interception, and seal the deal. And I'll be honest, he nearly screwed up and went down too far back. As you saw, Mendoza was able to kneel down the first time, but then had to like dive across the line of scrimmage the second time. Otherwise, he was going to kneel down in the end zone for a safety.
Oh yeah.
And then Miami's got a shot on the ensuing kickoff to try to run something back.
Yeah. It was, I'll tell you this, man. We've had some pretty wonky national championship games. That was a pretty entertaining one.
It was.
Got to give it up to both of those teams. I thought it was kind of shady. I mean, it was a predetermined location, so I can't really say this, but I did. It's just the fact that they were able to play the national championship in their actual
Miami's home field
to me blew my mind, because I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, I know Miami they share the field with the Dolphins and whatnot, but like, to me, I'm like, man, they would never allow Tennessee to play a national championship in Neyland. But
that's the thing,
Neyland's not a NFL arena or whatever, like a dome per se. So I mean, I understand, but like, it was just kind of wild. And kudos to Indiana's fans for not letting me realize that was a home game for Miami. I mean, they showed up in huge numbers. But yeah, it was a fun game.
And this is off topic, but that's a totally different thing. Is when are we finally going to stop having colleges and NFL teams share stadiums like that? Because like you mentioned, Tennessee's never going to host a national title because Neyland Stadium is Tennessee's home stadium. So in the case that, Tennessee ever made the national title, which they will here in the next couple of years, possibly next year.
2028.
Yeah. So, Tennessee would never host a national title, but with Hard Rock Stadium, first off, it being in Miami, but being an NFL stadium, being a stadium that can be closed off into a dome as well, it also just so happens to be Miami's home field. It's a possibility, just like we saw last night, that Miami gets to host a national title game on their home field.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised there wasn't like something changed there, because I mean, we're talking about a playoff that takes the whole like first round, home field advantage thing serious. So it's kind of wild to think that like the national championship was a home field advantage. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised that they went through with it. I mean, obviously that's something that you probably can't change.
I mean, it's something that's predetermined, like a couple years in advance.
And you got to give Miami credit to make it there. I mean, there was no guarantee that they were going to make it there, and they fought and they played some really good teams to get there. And I don't know, it was crazy, but like I said, the game itself just so entertaining. Had me locked in from start to finish. Now, mainly because I had like $12 on the game that I thought I could win for. Dude, I was feeling good. Okay, look. I done took alternate bets. Like I already told you 2 of them. I had taken the first drive. So you can bet on the first drive of these games. I did punt. Yeah. Easy. And it hit. Like that was the easiest 2 bets of the leg. Like, dude, I mean, we were a quarter of the way into this game and I'd already hit 4 of my 7 total legs, dude. Like I was feeling good. And then, like most degenerate gamblers do with $12, they don't cash out when they could have won like 20, and then you lost all. It's fine. Rondo, we appreciate you being tuned in. Says exactly as much money as they're throwing at players, they can build a stadium. 100%. I mean, and Pitt's in the same situation. The Pitt Panthers share the stadium with Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's another scenario. I think New York has a couple. I mean, we're talking about NFL teams in New York. We're sharing the same stadium for a while. But no, I don't know. It is what it is. But overall, the game was honestly, for a person that didn't have any skin in the game, it was a very entertaining game. A game that I didn't think I was going to be tuned into, just because I don't care about the programs. Definitely changed my mind about midway through that game. I mean, after halftime, seeing the way Miami came out and fought, man, what a game!
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was a game that was fantastic to watch. And even though obviously, everyone's going to say, well, it's too bad it wasn't an SEC team in there. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't, because it seems like every single year it's the same SEC teams. It's Alabama, it's Georgia.
Ole Miss had a chance, man.
They
Ole
did.
Miss had a
They did.
chance. They couldn't finish the deal, man. And I hated that for them, but Ole Miss definitely could have won that game.
Yeah,
Now,
if Ole Miss would have been in it, I would have loved it as well. But it was it was a great national championship game, regardless.
yeah, and to be honest with you, as much as this is going to hurt some people's feelings, but I just never viewed Ole Miss as a national championship caliber team. And to be honest with you, I didn't really view Miami as that either. But when they just kept winning in the playoffs, I mean, at some point your mind's got to change. And that second half of the national championship game really showed me. I was like, dang, okay, Miami is a decent team. I mean, and that really blew my mind, because when you see them lose to some of their opponent, like, I mean, they had I thought about posting this, by the way. They had 2 losses and couldn't even make their own conference championship game. And that tainted my taste of like who Miami is as a team. I'm like, wow, same old Mario Cristobal. I mean, dead to rights has the best team in the league and still can't even make his own conference championship game. So that really soured my feel on Miami the entire postseason. But after they lost to Indiana, I kind of thought about making a troll post on my account saying, wow, Miami with 3 losses somehow made it to the championship game. Like, what?
Yeah.
Thought about doing that. Probably wouldn't have got no traction, but I thought it was kind of funny because everybody always cries about 3 lost teams in the playoffs. So
Exactly.
But no, man, it was a great game.
It was a fantastic one to watch. And one more order of business. We'll make this one quick here for the football season, as the comeback is complete.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Skylar, how big of a lead did you have at one point?
19.
So it was about like Tennessee and Kentucky the other day. Just ended up giving that lead up, and it actually took the tiebreaker for me to win this one. And and Skylar's gone. But both of us actually, picked Indiana, of course.
You're gonna have to fix it, big dog.
Dang, you just completely left.
You brought up 2 things right there. One, my blown lead. Then you referenced it to Kentucky, Tennessee. That one hurt. So I left pretty quick. I didn't want to listen to all that. Sorry, I'm back. We're locked in.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what you said, honestly. Can we get off the screen, bro? Like, honestly, like, no, what a comeback. You needed this though. I mean, I was 2-0.
I did. I did, and it wasn't looking good for quite some time.
Oh.
I actually gave up at one point. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start picking random teams, and then all of a sudden, upset pick hit here. Next week, another one hit, and dang,
that's what I'm saying, Rhonda. Like, no remorse, no mercy. Apparently, it's
none whatsoever. I've been waiting on this.
It's just a round of golf, dude. It ain't that serious. Like, it's fine. I get it.
We all know golf is serious, so.
Is it? But no, I mean, what a comeback. Yeah, I should have known better. I actually let my guard down for the playoff picks. And one, I went like 0 for 6 on the first 6 games of the playoff.
That definitely helped me out.
That was all-time low. I mean, I never in my life, I really thought there was going to be a change of the first round. Like the first round bye teams, I'm like, no shot they'll lose again. And lo and behold, they almost every single one of them lost again except Indiana.
Yeah.
Crazy how that ended up. I just thought for sure that would be a change. But nope. Yeah, that happening. And I think it was that same week. You never once, like the weeks prior, if I would pick a game, you would pick the opposite just because you'd be like, I got to make up a game. I'm going to take the other because I got to. You never once did that during that segment. You would actually agree with me and tie with me. And I was so confused. Because I was kind of like, don't you have to make up games? And then you put up the graphic.
Yeah.
And you were like down by 1. And at that point, I pretty much knew I was cooked. It is what it is. Should have done better.
I could have sealed it in the semifinals.
No, I know. But we stayed the same or we were tied after the semis, right? Like,
yeah, so I went ahead I went ahead 1 game after the quarters. And then in the semis,
I made back, yeah.
Because I ended up picking Oregon. Because I stuck with my guns of the of the Georgia Ole Miss one where I said, all right, second time they're playing this season. It's hard to be a team second time. And I'm like, okay, Oregon's going to win this one. And boy, did they not.
Yep.
They
didn't.
looked like they didn't want to be there.
No.
But
Dan Lanning in the playoffs, not so hot.
not at all. But ultimately, 2025 football season, it was a pretty good one. It was a pretty entertaining one. Obviously, Tennessee didn't finish the way that we wanted them to, anything like that. But it was entertaining. All except for Vanderbilt. I mean, we hated to see what Vanderbilt actually did this year. Yeah,
I'm going to throw in there Oklahoma. I don't care that they're a playoff team and whatnot.
Yeah.
The way you played at home against Oklahoma was just unacceptable. Your defense finally stepped up and played really well just for your offense to absolutely give that game away.
100%.
Was very much a letdown. So I agree. You hate what happened with Vanderbilt, but honestly, I think the dark mode game at home, losing to Oklahoma the way you
That's
did,
the disappointing one.
And I had a bad feeling leading up to that game the entire week, and that one hurt. That one, I think, in my opinion, may have hurt worse than the Vanderbilt game, just because, I mean, no shot you should have given up 30 points to Oklahoma or close to whatever it ended up.
Well,
being.
that Oklahoma one at that point, if you win out at that point, you still got a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, you beat
after you lose
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma,
10-2, and and you get that, and you get those wins over winning teams and two ranked teams at that point. Which now everybody's just saying, "Wow, Tennessee didn't have a win over a winning team with a winning record or whatever in the FBS." Like, all that's kind of bogus because our 4 losses were to basically 4 playoff teams. I mean, Vanderbilt barely missed it. But either way, it's not wrong, so they can say it. But yeah, I mean, the Oklahoma game was just sour. Alabama's, you can say sour, but I think we all expected a loss there. It's just the way the game transpired, the way that pick six at the end of the half when it could have been a 2-point game and you're getting the ball back in the second half to possibly even go up. Like that, just all these little things that happen. And then the Georgia, I mean, the missed field goal to win the game.
The Georgia one to me is the biggest what if of the season.
Yeah.
If you win that game, what does the rest of your season look like?
Yeah, because then you afford that loss on the road to Alabama. And nobody even bats an eye. You're still a top 10 program fighting for everything. So yeah, it's definitely some learning moments for this coaching staff and the players. And they got to go to work, and it all starts now. Seriously.
Yep.
I mean, the strength and conditioning.
That's all starting tomorrow.
Yeah, get in the weight room and let's go to work. And I mean, before you know it, spring ball is going to be right around the corner. I mean, we're like 2 months away from spring practice. So let's get to work.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, you got anything else, football topic or otherwise, before we move ahead and talk a little bit of basketball?
Women's basketball, right?
I mean, we'll briefly talk about the men.
Let's talk about it.
Yep. All right, but before we do that, Skylar, will you give us our segment 2 sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because unlike the men's basketball team, P&L actually wins. So we know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, if this is something you feel like you're needing or missing out on in the entrepreneurship world, you're handling the customer service perfectly, but maybe not so much behind the scenes in the taxes. No better, actually probably no worse time, but tax season's right now basically. So, reach out, go online to pnlbusinessservices.com and let the fine folks, family folks right here again in Oak Ridge, Tennessee as well. P&L Business Services, they will take care of you, from start to finish, everything accounting. Love those people. They are great. And thank you so much for your continued support. Yeah. And I wasn't joking. They win. I'm not sure what our men's basketball team's doing right now, but it ain't winning.
No, I mean, 80-78 final score. Kentucky ends up beating Tennessee on Saturday.
I went to this game. There was a lot of Kentucky fans.
There's not a lot that you can say because when you look at
19-point lead?
When you look at the stat sheet all the way across, Tennessee should have won this ball game.
Don't matter. You missed free throws. I don't care. You missed free throws.
That's the thing is they missed the free throws when it mattered. Because
They missed the free throws, period. Like, it doesn't matter. Like it literally missed free throws the entire game.
Well,
Your
here's a
star
stat sheet.
shooting. Gillespie missing free throws, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. So here's a stat sheet here. Here's a comparison.
I don't even like basketball.
So Tennessee and Kentucky both shot 47% from the field. Kentucky shot 28 of 59. Tennessee 25 of 53. There's one issue right there is Kentucky not only shot more than you, they made a few more than you. 3-point percentage. Both teams shot pretty well from the three. 46% for Kentucky, 42 for Tennessee. Once again, Kentucky shot more, they made more. 11 of 24, 8 of 19 from three for Tennessee. Free throws. Tennessee outshot Kentucky from the free throw line. 62% from the line for Kentucky, 69% for Tennessee, 13 of 21 for Kentucky, 20 of 29 for Tennessee. Once again, you made more than Kentucky, but the ones that you missed were when it mattered. Turnovers, this is the one area that Tennessee had more than Kentucky, and they shouldn't have. 12 turnovers for Tennessee compared to 9 for Kentucky. So right there, it was one of Tennessee's best games as far as, hanging on to the basketball, not turning it over, but it was the timely turnovers as well. I mean, that one by Gillespie there, they ended up putting Kentucky ahead for good. That one was awful. Just the timely turnovers, timely missed free throws. You out-rebounded Kentucky 36-29. You out-rebounded them on the offensive end 16-14. Here's the other one, though, that Kentucky did better than Tennessee in. The second chance points, so the points off of those offensive rebounds. Kentucky got 19. Tennessee only had 7.
Mm-hmm.
Points in the paint, 30-30. Blocks, steals, assists, pretty much even across the board there. But as far as the stat sheet goes, Tennessee should have won this game. And as you mentioned, up by 17 points in the first half. On your home court, and Kentucky comes out with a victory. That, to me, that's the thing that hurts the most. If this would have been any other opponent, I would have said, this is not good. Not at all. No excuse for it. But the fact that it was Kentucky that this happened to, or that it happened against, that's what hurts the most to me. Because, Kentucky is our biggest rival in basketball. And the fact that they were able to do this, and Kentucky's best player fouled out with 2 minutes to go in the game, Diabate.
I mean, he's also off the bench. I don't know if he's the best player, but he definitely played like it that night. I mean, I say he played like it. He had a lot of rebounds. He really didn't even shoot that well. He's 4 of 11 from the field, but just drew fouls. I mean, I don't know.
We were talking last week about the plus minus for a player on the team. We were talking about Mia Pato, how well she did.
Yep.
Kentucky on Saturday had 1, 2, 3,
Denzel
4,
Bearden was
5.
insane.
They had 5 players that were in the minus for the plus minus. Diabate was plus 16 for Kentucky.
That's odd. And the dude
When
only
he
had
was
10 points, 27 minutes. Defense, like I said, though, he played really great defense, so maybe that's why. Far and
away the best player on the court on Saturday, because Tennessee had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that were in the minus, and the highest plus minus of anybody was JP Estrella with 7.
Yeah, so many things I could.
And here's the other thing.
I think it's the defense. This is the worst defense I've ever seen under Rick Barnes.
Didn't we kind of expect that, though?
I don't think so, because I thought Bishop Boswell was going to step up and be that guy, and he kind of was that guy, but I feel like he's kind of fallen off now. Nate Amont's just not playing defense. Jacoby Gillespie's just not physical at all in defense. Don't force enough turnovers whatsoever. Jalen Carey is like, I mean, we talk about him being big and strong, but I think I'm reverting back to what I thought when he first committed back to Tennessee, and I think he's one of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in my life.
You want to know what Jalen Carey's problem is, especially on the offensive side? When he gets the ball down low, he is immediately bringing the ball down to his waist. So he's a 6'8" guy, which first off is smaller for a post player than most of them. Because I mean, you look,
Sure.
you got 6'11", 7-footers all out there. So he's smaller first off, but when he brings the ball down to his waist, all of a sudden you're bringing the ball down to the level of some of these, 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" guards, and they're able to rip it away from him. He's not able to get that ball right back up to the rim where it needs to be. That's why he has to rely on missing the first one, getting the rebound, and then he's got the ball up here and he's able to go right back to it.
Yeah, but
that's his problem.
But he literally had like the worst game in his career. I mean,
it was not a good game.
He went 3 of 12, and I can promise you those 9 missed shots were exactly what you were just talking about, because he had 6 offensive rebounds where he basically got his own rebound, looking like Angel Reese out there, just trying to put it back up and just cannot get it to fall in the basket. I mean, literally, it was so frustrating to watch. It's so bad. I don't know, man. Like, Jacoby Gillespie didn't even play bad. In fact, Moneyball was kind of working for him. He went 4 of 7 from 3-point range. But 8 of 12, and that is your guy, bro. 75% from free throw is just not good enough. That is your 90% free throw shooter.
You know what a one good stat from this is? We were down bad on Nate Ament a few games ago when he went 5 of 12 from the free throw line. Nate Ament 8 of 9.
He went 8 of 9. That's exactly what you expect from a shooter, right? Man, it's so frustrating. Troy Henderson going 0 of 3 from the field.
Here's where the game was lost to me as far as your post players go. JP Estrella, 4 points. Dwayne Brown, 7 points. Felix Okpara, 5 points. Jalen Carey, 6 points. Those are guys that you need to be getting 10, 12 points from every single night.
Yep.
And you just weren't able to get it. But this stat hurts the most to me. Tennessee led for 38 minutes and 41 seconds of this ball game. Time trailing, the final 34 seconds of the ball game.
Yep. And at one point in this game, they were down. Was that the biggest? Maybe it was only 17 points. Tennessee was up at one point, 41-24.
They were up by 17 in the first half.
Go Vols, baby. Terrible. Just absolutely terrible. Then they went back up by 14-16. They were back up by 16 points. No. I don't know. Whatever. It was terrible. It was absolutely just so bad. Anywho's, Tennessee loses to Kentucky for like the 7th year in a row in Thompson-Boling Arena. And you give a coach a lifetime contract and he goes to crap. Honestly, I'm so fed up with it. It's so bad. Anyways, I'm going to regret saying all that, but whatever.
You want to know what the so here's difference right here in the second half. Kentucky was 18 of 36 in the second half shooting, 6 of 10 from the 3-point line. Tennessee, 11 of 22. Kentucky shot 14 more shots than Tennessee did in the second half.
Yep.
Just unreal.
There's a shot. Okay, so on ESPN, they have like a shot chart. And if you just like put your cursor over all the like missed shots in the paint, and it's just like so many like missed layups. Jalen Carey misses a layup. Jalen Carey misses a layup. Jalen Carey misses a layup.
Yeah.
Jalen Carey, Amari Evans. Jalen Carey. There's like 6 Jalen Carey misses a layup. Dude, it's so bad. It's one of his worst games ever. I literally kid you not.
And then once again, just going cold at the wrong time as current trends. Tennessee did not have a single field goal in the last 5 minutes and 38 seconds of the ball game.
Yep.
Just cannot happen if you're Tennessee.
On to other news though. Lady Vols killing it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move forward to that as Tennessee does have a bye in the midweek this week. No games. Saturday, They play against Alabama. I believe that was on the road against Alabama. So, 100% Rondo, mental mistakes. But
Woo, another ranked matchup.
but let's go ahead and I'll give you our segment 3 sponsor, which is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at kaizenpainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. And I ought to give them a call because I'm actually painting in this room right now.
Hey,
Trying to get it finished.
that's what they do.
You can see over here on this wall, I'm painting it this gray color behind me. This is the old color that was in the room. So
Ooh, it looks like a Texas orange, bro. Get that out of here.
it's a very ugly color.
Maybe like a brown. Maybe the camera's just not doing it justice. I don't know.
It's like a reddish orange is the actual color, but yeah, on the camera it does look like a Texas brown because Texas isn't orange. But
fair enough.
Yeah, I might ought to call them to finish this up. But
absolutely,
yeah, Lady Vols. That's a positive there.
Hey, doing exactly what they need to do, though. I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, we're talking about a Lady Vols team that's starting out SEC play 5-0, baby.
Yep,
5-0. The only game we're talking about is Alabama, right?
Alabama is they had a bye in the midweek last week.
That's right.
Played against Alabama on the weekend. Went to Alabama and got that win. By the way, just a fantastic performance. It didn't look good starting off. As first quarter, Tennessee went down. I believe it was 13-3, and then all of a sudden, Tennessee started feeling it, and they took the lead and never really looked back.
So proud of them
en route to that 70-59 win.
You want to hear a best bet, which normally it's bad beat, but your boy put in a bet after Tennessee was down by about 9 points in the first quarter for Tennessee to win money line, which then the odds spiked up to about, plus 300 at that point. Oh, I got them. Finally. I believed in the ladies to get it done. Slow start, not sure why, but Kim Caldwell's teams are always bound to have a bad quarter. And I was just betting on them that the first quarter was the bad quarter, and I was pretty much spot on that. Now they got cold a little bit in the fourth as well, but they bounced back in a big way and pulled away and beat the tie. But yeah, what a game. Weathers, by the way, sister of
I was gonna say I do want to give a shout out to her.
Yeah, Ryan Weathers. I played baseball against him back when he was at Loretto. I think she went to Loretto as well.
She did,
but she was well younger than me. But it's so cool to see her doing her thing in Alabama. She's been there for a couple of years now. It was actually pointed out, I think last year, it was my mother actually pointed out that she was on the team, and I was like blown away. I was like, no way, that's awesome. So, and she's a baller, dude. Like she absolutely deserves to be there. And she's making it happen. Was honestly a key player for Alabama. But
she's a local legend around here as far as high school basketball. I believe I know for sure she won one state title. She might be a 2-time state title winner. Miss Basketball, I believe, won. She was the Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year her senior year as well on the female side of things. So yeah, I mean, and Alabama didn't lose this game because of her either, because she had 11 points in the contest, 4 of 11, 3 of 7
rebounds,
3-point line, 7 rebounds.
Yep.
She played second most minutes on the team behind Timmons, who had 22 points in the contest. So, I mean, it wasn't because of Carly Weathers. She was doing her thing out there. But a big shout out to her, as there was a big group of people from Loretta that actually took a bus down to Tuscaloosa to watch that game. And they normally do that every year whenever Tennessee or Vanderbilt, whichever one comes to Tuscaloosa to play. Yeah. But shout out to her. But, we're talking Tennessee. And Tennessee in this contest had 5 players in double figures.
Your complete team win. Absolutely.
100%. Probably their best overall performance of the season, as Talasia Cooper led the way with 16 points.
Did you notice something different in this game?
It wasn't all running through her?
Yes, but I want you to see how normally Kim Caldwell's teams it's like 10 to 12 people playing, and they're pretty darn even as far as minutes played. But what do you notice in this box score?
Yeah, you got several people playing upper 20s to close to 30 minutes, and then you've got three people that played less than 10 minutes, one person that played less than 20 minutes in this game.
So Kim Caldwell, in my opinion, now she's still subbing a lot, but I think she knows who her players are.
It's more quick breathers now to get the main players back out.
There is no balance of playing. Yeah, she knows who her or playmakers are, and she needs them on the court at all times. And yes, like you said, they do have a rotation where they get some breathers, but Jada Civil, I mean, just didn't have a lot of points, but definitely a playmaker on the court. Got a lot of rebounds, but Janiyah Barker, man, I mean, what can you say about her? She 10 points, 11 rebounds, double there for her. I mean, again, Z Spearman stepping up. I said that's a player that I felt like was going to take a big leap this year, and honestly, up until this point, didn't really feel like that she had done that. But she played 26 minutes, 12 points. Now she went 0 for at the 3-point line, 0 for 3. I wish that was better, but she did go 4 or 5 at the free throw line. And added 3 assists, 4 rebounds. She did foul out, but at the end of the day, got a big win.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Alyssa Latham, as I called her out earlier this year as somebody who just
perfect from the field.
Has really disappointed me at the beginning part of the season, but has come along here lately.
She had been battling injury, right? Am I wrong on that?
She has had a couple of injuries that she's been battling.
She looked healthy. She looked healthy in this one.
She did. Yeah.
She looked healthy in this one, which is a dangerous thing for any opponent because, like I said, Alyssa Latham, I mean, a big that you kind of was hoping would be your starter, I think, goes 6 of 7 from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Yeah, huge night for her. But overall, Tennessee, as you mentioned, having 5 scores in double digits, but all in all, you only had 7 scores in the game. So that is something that I'm kind of pointing out to. And 7 scores, and 2 of those 7 combined for 7 points. So, like I said, Kim Caldwell's found out who our playmakers are, and I'm for it because I think you've seen that change in the middle of the game, and you've seen it kind of shape up, and I think it's going to be. I think it's gonna be big. Now, I do have an issue because I mean she was just such a good player last year, and maybe this is just a one-off game, but she didn't have a lot of minutes either. But Kenaya Boyd, what's going on with her, man? She was such a playmaker as a freshman last year, and I just felt like she's just absolutely not gotten with the program this year.
I feel like some of it is just some of these younger players. They're just better than her. And that's not a knock on Kenaya by any means because she's a fantastic player, but you got to go with the hot hand a lot of times. And I just feel like some of these other girls, they're getting that hot hand, and she's just not getting the playing time that she probably wants or that she might deserve at times. So I think we're still going to see games where Kenaya Boyd is going to have 15, 20 minutes in the contest, but this just wasn't one of them. And maybe this could either be the start of a trend for the Lady Vols where this is kind of going to be Kim Caldwell's group and she's going to roll with it. And if it works, great. Or maybe this was a game where she said, okay, this is one where I need to make sure I've got my playmakers on the court. I don't need to sub quite as much. I don't need to get these other girls in as much. I don't know exactly, but I tend to lean towards the former rather than the latter. That I think she, like you said, she's kind of found who she can trust on the court, and you just need those other girls for getting the breathers to make sure that they're not just completely gassing themselves. Is you still only had one player that played more than 30 minutes in the contest, and that being Talaysia Cooper with 33 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think with Kenaya Boyd. I think Kim Caldwell just. Not that she doesn't trust her, but she feels like some of the other girls on the team can kind of give a little bit more than she can right now, especially in this game against Alabama.
Well, I'll tell you this, Lady Vols, again, starting out 5-0 in SEC play, which if you recall back about 3 weeks ago when we started previewing the SEC slate for these basketball teams, I said the Lady Vols better take care of business in the beginning of the SEC slate because it's about to get serious. They just beat a ranked Alabama team. Huge win. They got a mammoth of a game coming up Thursday, 2 nights away 6:30 on the SEC network at home against, like I said, number 11 Kentucky. They're 17-3 on the year, 4-2 in SEC play, and then it it gets serious pretty quick, man. I mean, we're talking about a non-conference game coming up in 2 weeks against UConn. And then a week after that, they play number 2 South Carolina. So within a week, you play the number 1 and the number 2 ranked team. And then exactly 1 week after that, they play the number 4 ranked team in Texas. And then, I mean,
You
just
you finish off the season, your
It is
last 3
insane.
games at number 16 Oklahoma, at number 6 LSU, and then the senior day at home against number 5 Vanderbilt.
which Vanderbilt and South Carolina, both right now 19-0, 19-1 respectfully. Both of them are undefeated in SEC play. Yeah, it's yeah, dude. Like, they better continue to win. I mean, they got a mammoth of a game against Kentucky, and Ole Miss. Honestly, not about a week away now, I guess. Huge games. I mean, this would be the second and third of 3 straight ranked SEC matchups here. I like Tennessee's chances, especially against Kentucky being at home. But again, I'm just going to kind of stick with the whole, like, they better keep taking a business as long as they can take care of business, because really, UConn, non-conference game, you're almost playing with house money in that game, if I'm being honest. If you beat them again like you did last year, oh my gosh, we're talking like a chance for a 2 seed.
It's going to be difficult as this number 1 UConn
Right.
at UConn.
Right, dude? Like I said, hopes are not that high for that game, but like I said, that's why you're playing with house money there. But where you better lock in is South Carolina, Texas, LSU, Vanderbilt. Man, those 4 games, I think if you could find a way to go 2-2 in those and maybe slip up and lose another SEC game somewhere, you have a total of 3 SEC losses, hopefully by the end of the year, and you put yourself squarely in a bye position for the SEC tournament and a chance to go win the dang thing, man. I think that's all you could ask for under Kim Caldwell. I mean, like I said, if you finish the year with 3 SEC losses and maybe 4 just to give themselves a buffer there, you finish the year regular season, with maybe 7 total losses, you really are looking at a 3, maybe even a 2 seed in the tournament, in the big dance. And wow, what a turnaround and what a chance to go make some history happen.
Because what about the growth that this team has had just in the last couple of weeks? Because we were sitting here a month ago, well, a little less than a month ago, when we gave our first update on basketball after football season ended. And we're like, this team doesn't look like they've got it right now.
They don't.
They've got a long, long way to go. And granted, I know we've talked about it's not been the best competition necessarily that they played to open SEC play, but this looks like a different team than what played a month ago for the Lady Vols. This looks like a team that's finally starting to gel.
I think they're only getting better. The Alabama win really excites me because the way that game happened. They went down early and then just kept fighting. And I think that's something we've not really seen from this team. But they came back, won by double digits. That's huge. But I'm not going to get hopes. I mean, the other 4 wins in SEC play are to Arkansas, the worst team in the league, to Mississippi State, the 11th team in the league, Auburn, the 10th team in the league, and Florida, the 14th team. So, I mean, like I said, teams they're beating are absolutely teams they should beat. So I'm not putting a ton of stock in that. Pretty much wins that were, I'm not going to say guaranteed, but games you better win. But this week in particular, playing Kentucky at home, Ole Miss on the road, in prime time type slots here. We're talking about Kentucky, who is 4-2 in the division or in the conference and 17-3 overall, and then Ole Miss 3-2, 16-4. Those are 2 absolute competent teams. Big wins if we can get it done. And at that point, like I said, if you can win those games, you stay undefeated in SEC play. If you could figure out to stay undefeated by the time you play South Carolina February 8th, what a showdown that could be for Kim Caldwell and the Lady Vols.
100%, man. And, we mentioned the adversity that they had in this Alabama game at the beginning, going down 13-3.
Yeah.
What about also in the fourth quarter? Alabama came back and take the lead.
They did.
54 to 53 with 7 minutes left to go. And Tennessee responded again.
So many times have you seen this team just give up at that point?
Yeah.
Whether it be turnovers or making stupid mistakes, whatever. But they didn't. They locked in, got the job done. That showed to me a little bit of mental toughness. You know, I this team's only getting better. I think they're finding a way and learning how to play together. I think Kim Caldwell's finding a way to adjust herself. Like I said, this is a little bit different. I mean, we're used to her, and she's still subbing a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a lot more calculated as far as who's on the floor. To me, it's not so much like a hockey style of substitution where it's just like every 45 seconds. Doesn't matter who it is. We're just getting fresh legs out there. Now it's a more calculated, okay, I want these ladies on the floor at the same time. And you're starting to see these ladies play a lot more minutes. I mean, it used to be a shared almost everybody between 18 to 20 minutes in the lineup. Now you're absolutely seeing, Talasia Cooper playing 30, 32, 33 minutes last game against Alabama. So, kind of taking on that leadership role. Talasia Cooper is, in my opinion, one of your best, most athletic players. Janai Barker is really close to being that as well. But yeah, I think Kim Caldwell's made some adjustments herself, and I think that's why you're seeing a little bit of change here. And like I said, what a showdown we have. Kentucky, Thursday night, 6:30, and yeah, I'll be tuned into that. And I'm hoping that they can get some revenge for the men's. Man, that was a tough one.
Yeah, 100%. So that's going to just about wrap us up for tonight. Is, not a whole lot to recap as far as basketball went. Mainly just want to talk about the football season wrap up as far as some of the players. Is, we might still get a couple other transfer portal guys.
Oh, yeah.
We've pretty much got our roster now.
Yep.
So we'll kind of see what that looks like more towards spring practice. But, it's officially the offseason. So, Skylar, starting next week, we're going to start going back and doing some SEC team recaps, looking at what we predicted and looking at what actually happened. And I've got a feeling there's going to be some big differences in what we picked and what actually happened with some teams. So
hold up, let me let's see when this is. Well, I'm feeling really good about one team in particular, just right off the bat, if I'm going to spoil it. But, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this segment at all. I got to be honest. I'm trying to talk myself into this, but it's not good.
Yeah.
But Florida didn't let me down. Yep, I had to throw the shot out there, bro. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm just and I still gave them too much credit, dude. Like
I gave them way too much credit.
That's what I was getting at, man. I was like, yeah, that's the one team I feel good about because I had them going 5-7. You had them going 8-4, so I'm at least up big on that one.
I had them going 8-4. I thought it was like 9-3.
I don't know. You might have had it going 9-3. Honestly, I
don't even know.
I had two records written next to them, and I know for a fact I took the lower one because I did not think highly of. I knew Billy was getting fired. It was not even close in my opinion. But yeah, anytime I have a chance to dog Florida, dude, I'm absolutely doing it. I think you had, if I'm being honest here, no, you had them going 8-4.
Okay.
But I wrote down you had them going 8-4.
A little bit better, but not much. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of do like we did in the preseason. And we're going to, in the preseason, we went with kind of how we thought the bottom tier was going to start all the way up to the top tier. Obviously, Tennessee was going to be last, of course. We're going to do the same thing as far as the teams here in the postseason. We're going to go from who ended up at the bottom, and we're going to go all the way to the top. Tennessee will be last there as well. So next week, let's see. It shouldn't take long to talk about some of these teams, so we'll probably see about getting 3 teams in per episode for sure, too. But next week, Skylar, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State are the 3 teams we're going to be looking at.
Arkansas. I literally wrote, when did Billy get fired?
Was it the week before? It was the bye week before they played Georgia. Wait,
no
wait, wait.
shot.
Wait, no. You're talking about if we're looking at Arkansas, you're talking about old Colbert, Sam Pittman.
No, I'm flip back to Florida here. Sorry.
Uh,
When did Billy got fired before the Tennessee game, right?
No, he was fired. He was fired before they played Georgia.
Oh my
No.
God. We're gonna have to lock that down. I gotta figure this out.
Let's see. So he was fired before Tennessee, but yeah, it was the bye week between Mississippi State and Georgia that he was fired in. I'm almost positive. I will go back and look.
It was the bye week, but before. Hold up. Hang on. This is important. Hang on. Very bad for radio. He was fired before Georgia.
Yes, between Mississippi State and Georgia.
I was a week off.
You said it was going to be before Kentucky.
Was a week off. Dang it! I had him written down. I think it was actually after the game after the Texas game. I can't remember who they played after Texas. Who did they play? Texas A&M.
Yeah,
I had him getting fired after Texas A&M.
close.
Oh, dang it!
Close. No cigar.
Throwing the book away, bro. I swear.
Yeah. But no, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and South Carolina is another one that just let me down this year.
You mean Billy Napier with a swag on, bro? He didn't.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers let me down, honestly. I mean,
yes, Lenore.
I say Lenore Sellers let me down, but like his team let him down. So it's like, I don't know. That's a whole situation. Good job. Good job, Beamer.
No, those are three we're going to look at next week.
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling confident. You were high on a lot of those teams.
I was very high on a lot of those things. I'm not feeling good as far as when we look at who was closer. It's going to be you for sure.
So we're not done with the whole golf thing, right? I got a chance to come back, right? No,
I guess I got the refreshments at the turn.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man. Well, we appreciate everybody being tuned in on this episode. It is the off season of football, but basketball, as much as the men's is trying to really tick me off right now, Lady Vols are doing great things. And hey, baseball starts in a month.
25 days.
In less than a month. I am so excited about it. Cannot wait to see what this new baseball team looks like. We may do a preview here in a few weeks about what this team's going to look like, and we'll give you everything and more right here on the Vol Fanatics Show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Michael, you got anything in closing?
Yeah, just make sure everybody stays safe this weekend. It's looking like across the state of Tennessee, predicting a lot of snow, some areas a lot of ice as well. So please keep your eye to the news, to the weather, all that stuff. Make sure you stay safe. Go get your milk. Go get your bread before it's out. I'm sure a lot of stores are already out right now.
Toilet paper, baby. Go get it.
Yeah, go get the TP. I'm actually going to take my
go get the eggs.
No, I'm going to go take my my propane tank tomorrow and get it refilled. That way, if we do lose power, at least I got the Blackstone, baby.
There you go.
So no, everybody stay safe. We'll see y'all again next week.
Go Vols.